someone. Always trust my gut.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror film
Teasers.
Nice. I wasn't sure if you were
Gonna do that?
Yeah.
Haha.
Glad you did. We have a very special episode today. You want to tell us what we're going to be looking at?
Yeah, we are reviewing our first teaser trailer because we don't have the official trailer yet for Terrifier 3.
Yes. And if you are a horror fan, you have probably seen this multiple times.
You've checked the message boards.
You've seen all the controversy.
The controversy of this horror film
Yeah.
teaser. Anyway.
So Terrifier 3 is set to be released next October.
Next October 2024. Just in time for nothing.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, it's way before Thanksgiving.
And we know that this is going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So Art the Clown is stepping into Christmas territory.
Did you think that it was going to be coming out this Christmas?
No, I didn't think it was coming out this Christmas.
You didn't?
No.
Why not?
Because it was so... I think Terrifier 2 was just made last year. I think it takes a while. So I would have been very impressed if they came out with Terrifier 3 this Christmas.
X and Pearl came out the same year.
That seems like... Yeah, good job. Good job.
Good job, Ty West.
Yeah.
Well, Damien Leone wants to take his time. So he is releasing this one next October.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to compete with all the other Christmas-themed horror movies. So it's coming out 2 months in advance.
We're going to be watching it up from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of time for repeat viewings. That's what he was thinking.
Probably.
Good job.
All right, let's check out the teaser.
That teaser.
We've both seen this before.
Yeah, and you told me that it was controversial, and I don't really know why.
Well, I mean, for a horror fan, an avid horror fan, there are lots of movies that we have probably seen that we know this is not reality, this is fantasy, and we've seen some pretty bad themes over a lot of the movies we've seen.
Yeah, within the actual movie.
Right. So I think the thing that had stirred up the controversy with this teaser is that the implication is that Art is viciously murdering a little girl.
But the thing is, not really, because there were 5 stockings on that hearth, on that fireplace mantle.
Yeah.
So that blood could have been from any of them.
Right. So for one, we don't know. I feel like that is the strong implication. And
she screams Santa, and he does have an axe, and he giggles in his little silent laugh way.
Right. So you're saying that might not be what is actually happening here.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I've seen just on social media posts, and there have even been articles and stuff that people think
articles.
Yeah, because it's like Art. Okay, let's back up here. Art the Clown is without a doubt one of the biggest new horror franchises of the recent past. And Terrifier 2 was such a huge success and kind of like a sleeper hit, a word of mouth hit that and it was gruesome, and it was just kind of jaw dropping at points. I wouldn't say it was the most brutal thing that I've seen or that we've seen, but it was definitely like, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, aside from the brutality that happens in Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 1, the thing that for me makes the Terrifier movies, mostly 2, I really enjoyed Terrifier 2 last year. And that's because it came on the heels of Halloween Ends. And I was a little bit disappointed by the ending of Halloween Ends. And when Terrifier 2 came out and I saw that one pretty closely after, I was like, okay, this is what I wanted. This is kind of what I wanted from Halloween Ends. I wanted this enigmatic killer. I don't know. It was Art the Clown is a very interesting killer in the horror world. He's kind of like a silent stalker like Michael Myers with the sassiness of Freddy. So you take those two and then you get Art the Clown.
Will Art discern who
No.
he is killing?
Totally psychotic. He imagines an entire character in the movie. And so it's a really funny movie and it's interesting and creepy. And yes, there's a lot of brutality, but I wouldn't even say that's why I enjoy the movie. I enjoy all the other aspects of the character of Art the Clown and the humor that he brings to it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I'm just saying that there are people online and they may not be avid horror fans. They might be hardened to gore or whatever, but they are like, this is going too far. It is crossing the line where now we have violence against children. However, we've both talked about this, and movies and horror movies or just movies in general have been increasingly more violent. And we've seen
children.
Violence towards kids on a regular basis now.
I feel like there was this sudden onslaught of how do we be more shocking in this horror movie? I know, let's kill the kid in the movie.
Yeah.
Typically, the kid was pretty safe. They're off limits in horror movies. Like if there's a kid, you're like, okay, the kid's going to live and some adult's going to die trying to save the kid. But they have flipped that trope in the recent years and they're letting the kid die. And even in movies where it's maybe not as brutal or expected. I think my most recent memory, Last Voyage of the Demeter. Spoiler, not to spoil, but I'm just saying.
Spoiler warning after the spoiler.
I'm not saying who.
Okay, sure there's a ton of kids in that movie.
It's a whole boat full of kids.
Yeah. Okay, in the movie Hook, Rufio dies. Sorry, that was a spoiler.
Wow. That's a big spoiler because there's a whole generation of kids that have not seen Hook yet.
Yeah, I hope that
they're
those
watching
kids are
our
not
podcast.
Yeah.
Fine.
Our target audience is
not
a bit older, I think.
The younger generation.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. And there have been examples of kids being killed in horror movies for decades. I would say that violence towards kids, I'm not going to say that bothers me. But in the context of this movie, even if that's what's happening, then that's just part of this story and adds to like Art being this complete psychopath.
Yeah.
So now if they're doing it, and I think that the teaser is doing that purposefully to like shock
you. But the thing is, it is such a tease because they don't show him swinging an axe at her. They don't even show him turning around completely. He starts to turn around and then it cuts. And so I feel like there's some blood on the wall afterward. You have no idea whose blood it is. It could be his own blood. Who knows? Maybe he cut his finger.
and spelled his name on the wall.
And he's chomping on a cookie with some milk, his boots up on the futon or something. And I feel like, okay, if he was snacking on her hand, then that would be, okay, well, obviously he killed the little girl. But he's eating cookies.
And we should also say, for those who are complaining against the violence towards kids, Art has already done that.
Okay. If you guys have not seen All Hallows Eve, then don't listen for like 10 seconds.
When we first meet Art in All Hallows Eve.
That's true. All Hallows Eve. Kill the kids.
And then there's another thing to be said about it is this even footage that's going to be in the movie?
Exactly.
They
Often with these teasers.
Shot the movie yet.
Yeah. I find with teasers that nothing in the teaser happens usually.
Right.
It's just like a way to hook you.
Yeah, it's like a promo. It's like a marketing thing to get you excited for the movie and to get us excited about the fact that Terrifier 3 is going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And that is exciting.
I think that's all it is. It's the general aura of what we can expect for Terrifier 3. I don't think any of this actually happens. I think it's just like there's going to be something sadistic that happens and Art happens to be doing this during Christmas time. I think that's all that we can really gather from this teaser.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you excited for Terrifier 3?
I am excited for Terrifier 3. I have to say I was not a super fan of Terrifier 1. There were definitely some really creepy moments and moments where I was like, oh man, that's gross. But then
you know what we're talking about.
You do. And then Terrifier 2 came out, and again, on the heels of Halloween Ends, and I was like, okay, this is what I wanted. And I didn't even know that I wanted that at that time. And then I saw it and I was like, yep, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
It was so entertaining, and it wasn't just the gore.
I'm also excited for it. I'm wondering though if it ends up being one of those things that's trying to outdo itself, and that could end up being a negative.
It could.
I hope not, because I feel like Terrifier 2 was doing that with Terrifier 1. But I guess the one thing about Terrifier 2 that was an interesting choice was that it was like 2 hours long. Or 2.5 hours long or something.
It was?
It was very long.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about Terrifier 2 is that it just went off the rails. It took everything that happened in the first one and like overdid it times 20.
Right.
And you get some like supernatural elements. You have like a 30-second long shit scene in the beginning. I'm just like, what is happening? And I think after that scene in the laundromat, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. It was just so
That's
weird.
what did it. Yeah.
So weird. I'm a fan for that.
You're also a fan of clowns, though.
I love clowns.
Yeah. Clowns are naturally creepy. So, you know, Art is like,
they're funny.
Is like such an exaggerated, creepy, murderous clown. So it just works.
Funny. So it makes sense. Yeah, I loved it.
All right, let's try to predict what's going to happen. I don't know if you've actually heard.
I've heard nothing.
Okay.
I don't go on the internet.
Well, I mean, if you're just on social media, you see people posting stuff about
I haven't.
It's the hot buzz.
I'm not that good at social media. Every now and then I'll jump on. I'll like comment on some people's pages in a very wordy way.
Yes.
Which I know is not the thing to do. Appropriate grammar and semicolons. Anyway, I don't know anything about, I haven't seen anything posted for this.
Well, it hasn't been written, I'm pretty sure. So nobody knows what's happening.
Oh,
so
okay.
everything that is talked about is just other people's predictions.
Oh.
Or something that may be a hint just by like looking at the teaser.
Well, just looking at the IMDb page, I do know that the 4 people in the cast list are 4 people that we've seen before. We have Art the Clown. We have Sienna, played by Lauren Lavera from Terrifier 2. We have her brother, played by Elliot Fulham. And we have Samantha Scafidi, who was in Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2.
Okay, so what are your predictions? Or do you want me to?
Let's see. Well, I don't want you to predict because I'm afraid that you might actually know more than I do.
No, nobody knows it. Nobody knows because
okay.
it hasn't been written. Everything is just fan theory.
Oh, so then Damien Leone is just kind of like listening to the message boards and thinking, like, what should I do?
I need ideas.
I got no ideas.
I'll put out this teaser
Help.
and then basically Reddit will write it for me.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart idea. Okay. I don't know if he's going to go as supernatural sci-fi as he did in 2, because it almost felt like that was the thing for 2.
Yeah, but it 2 like ended on that. So you don't think they're going to continue with that good versus evil?
Good versus evil.
Sienna versus Art.
Spoiler for 2.
Just general spoiler warnings for all of the
For
Terrifier franchise. She died and then she
She
came back.
went through the fire and rose up from the fire like a phoenix.
Yeah,
Oh,
from the
okay.
water.
From the water? I thought it was fire.
She drowned.
Oh, I thought she was in hell.
Have you seen the
I
movie?
saw it once. Okay, fine. So she drowned and then she came back to life. And then there was like this whole good versus evil battle. And yeah, I don't know. I guess they're going to battle again.
Yeah. So do you think they're going to lean on the supernatural element?
I guess probably. Oh, no.
What character is more supernatural than Santa Claus? Art as Santa.
Oh, Santa's going to come. Real Santa's coming. I keep having this prediction for these Christmas movies that real Santa's coming. And I really hope that with one of these movies that it's right.
Yeah, well, what about the poster? We haven't jumped onto the poster yet, but in the poster, Art is holding Santa's face or wearing Santa's face around his neck.
Oh, he wishes.
Yeah, so we're not quite going into the poster yet, but...
Well, I think we kind of have to because that's going to lend its way towards my predictions. So he does have Santa's face around his neck. Little sockets are empty. And Art... He does have the word art scrawled behind him on the wall in blood, and he's near a tree, and he's grinning in his ghoulish grin with his bloody axe.
And there's faces in the tree.
What?
That have like baubles in their mouths and like tree. Actually, a lot like Michael. They have the pine coming out of their eyes.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, so he stole your idea.
He stole my idea. Even
There's some entrails. There's some guts wrapped around the tree, kind of like a tinsel wreath.
Oh,
he
yeah.
basically stole our idea.
All right, so I think real Santa is gonna come since they went so hard on the supernatural in the second one. I think that's the only way they could do something different is to really lean into the fantasy. We already know that Art imagines characters. Mm-hmm. And so perhaps he's imagining a Santa that he's going to battle. But will his imaginary Santa overpower him?
I feel like this poster is going to be the setup scene in the
like the cold open
movie. Yeah, it's gonna be the cold open. And maybe it'll tie in with the teaser a little bit. So maybe the thing that's gonna happen is the little girl is going to come down the stairs on that snowy Christmas night with the little silent night bells playing.
Ding, ding.
And she's going to see Santa. And then Art is also going to be there. And Art is going to kill Santa Claus and take off his face and put it around his neck. And the little girl is going to run away and go back to bed. There, no child violence.
No child shall die in Terrifier 3.
However, Santa is going to die a grisly death, and Art is going to write his name in Santa's blood on the wall.
Yeah. I don't know if Art knows how to spell anything. I think he's learning how to spell.
Art's name is spelled A-R-T, so that seems correct.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he's learning how to write, and that's why he just keeps writing his name. Like a little kid, you know, like when they first learn how to write, that's all he writes is Art. Anyway, not important. But yeah, I see some dead bodies around him by the presents, and they all look like adult limbs. So the faces on the tree, one has a beard, definitely an adult.
Yeah.
And the other one looks like an older woman, middle-aged woman. So I think the kid's safe. Yeah. All those internet controversies for nothing. And the kid just needs to say, I'm not afraid of you. And then he goes away.
So there's also speculation that the little girl is Sienna.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, oh, she has brown hair and brown eyes.
Yeah.
Sienna did seem very traumatized or like she was repressing something.
Oh, and we do know from Terrifier 2 that Sienna's dad
was an artist,
but also already knew who Art was. He'd drawn pictures of Art.
And this looks very much like a cartoonish drawing that perhaps Sienna's dad drew for her. Like, Merry Christmas. This is what happened when you were 3 or 4.
This is what he drew.
Yeah. Because she repressed the memory. I think, I was actually thinking that when I watched the teaser, I was like, that looks like it could be a little tiny Sienna.
Yeah.
And there were 5 stockings on the fireplace. 2 parents, a Sienna, and a little brother that might have just been born. And then somebody older. Maybe she had an older sibling that died.
Or maybe one stocking is for Santa.
One stocking is for the cat.
For the cat.
Yeah.
No, if you start doing animal cruelty, that's when people really draw the line.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. So, I mean, really anything is up in the air at this point because I don't know if it is actually, the movie's actually been written. Yeah. And we're not given much.
Sienna's adopted because if that is Sienna, there are parent faces on the tree. I think her dad from Terrifier 2 that was dead was probably the first cop on the scene. Classic tale of cop feels bad for the orphaned kid, takes that kid in, And that's why it's like this really dark, repressed memory from Sienna.
What if Art is Sienna's dad, but
Art's Sienna's dad? Gross.
but like a ghost version, because Art is a supernatural killer clown. So
He's supernatural? I don't know if he's supernatural.
Art is totally supernatural. Art is like Freddy.
Well, I feel like he's as supernatural as Sienna is, because Sienna has the ability to go into these like fantastical worlds as well.
Okay.
Kind of like Nancy.
I got another prediction. At the end of Terrifier 3, the last scene is going to be like a zoom back, and then they're all in a snow globe. Like
in Krampus?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler for Krampus.
Damn, we're spoiling a lot of movies.
How many Christmas movies can we spoil? But Santa is real. No spoilers there. One other little clue to hint that it is Sienna. The toys on her little treasure chest or her little nightstand, they look like older toys, like from the late 90s.
Yeah, it did have.
I think I saw a troll.
A 90s vibe.
It did. So it did seem like something
retro.
like a home from the past.
So it looks like we're agreeing with, because I've seen that theory a lot online, that the little girl is Sienna. So it looks like we're in agreement.
We're in agreement with the internet.
I mean, we know that those two are connected. They're like spiritually connected. They are like Santa and Krampus. So in this situation, Sienna is Krampus.
Sienna is Krampus?
If Art is Santa,
then Sienna's Krampus.
And what's the anti-Santa? It's Krampus.
No, Santa is Santa and Art is anti-Santa. He killed Santa.
Well, he becomes Santa. He's like the Tim Allen Santa Claus.
Because Santa fell off the roof and then Tim Allen wore his face and suit.
Exactly. I go by Santa Claus rules. So if you accidentally kill Santa, you now become Santa, and you get that elf assistant guy.
Well, what if Krampus kills Santa? Does he become Santa?
I don't know the rules of Krampus too much. I do know that if you have evil in your heart, then Krampus can take over your body.
I don't think if you have evil in your heart. I think it's like if you're at a loss and you give up, then Krampus takes over.
Yeah, Krampus can take your body. That's what I know from watching A Christmas Horror Story.
Oh.
Another spoiler. Da-ding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, for people watching and or listening, you really should have already seen all of these Christmas horror movies.
Should they have?
I think so.
Okay. You just watched it like yesterday.
Shh. Shut up.
You just watched it when it first came out.
Way to blow up
many
my
years
spot.
ago.
That's why I was so confident in spoiling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like that kid at school. It's like, guess what, kids? I learned this thing about Santa last night.
I am traumatized because I was put on the spot about Ace Ventura 2.
Oh my gosh.
And I had not seen the movie, but I didn't want to admit that I hadn't seen it. So I said what my favorite scene from the movie was based off of only seeing the trailer, which is a lot like what we do now.
Yeah.
So, things do come full circle.
So good thing you were humiliated back in the 5th grade.
But anyways, I was totally caught in a lie. And I was humiliated.
Yeah. But if only you had people back then to spoil Ace Ventura for you, then you wouldn't have been so off base with your lie.
Right. I'm doing a public service here, people. All right. Well, anything else about...
I think we got it. I think we nailed it. It's Sienna in the past, and she gets adopted by the first detective on the scene who can't handle it and then goes crazy, and then he dies. I
guess we didn't really talk about how are they going to outdo Terrifier 2?
Santa.
But that doesn't answer the question, though.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to have more gore? Is it going to be more story based? Are we going to get more backstory? Are they just going to go completely crazy shit off the rails?
I would love it if they go off the rails completely, even more so than in Terrifier 2. I don't know if I will enjoy if they just really lean into the fight scenes and the gore, because that's not what I enjoyed about Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
I mean, those were present, but that's not why I liked that movie. So I just wanted to be like weird, even more weird than 2.
The thing about the killings and the gore in Terrifier 2 is it really just shows who Art is as a killer clown.
Mm-hmm.
He's so psychotic and so sadistic that just when you think it's over, for Art, it's not. Art is like toying with the bodies. like a cat.
Yeah.
Cats are fucking sadistic
Yeah. He's
creatures.
really just a cat. He's just messing around.
Like batting around the dead carcass, and they're like laughing, like, woo, they put it
Like
in your
what we
bed.
did.
They're like,
Yeah.
give me a treat.
Like, here's
kind
your
of
present. Like,
exactly
I am
what art
giving you
is.
presents. And like, that's what art does. He thinks that he's giving people presents and laughter. Like, look, this is something that could be bad, but I'm letting you see the brighter side.
Do you think that we are going to have Art's sidekick return?
His psychic?
Sidekick?
Oh, sidekick, like the small girl?
Yeah.
The little girl? I hope so.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her.
Yeah. Or maybe Art will have a new sidekick, like some sort of elf.
I hope she's the elf.
Do you think they would have the same actor come on?
You're right. Kids grow up.
Yeah.
They get bigger.
Hopefully Art will have some minions, because I think that was a pretty cool part
That will
about
be
Terrifier
fun.
2.
Yeah, if he has like little minions.
Yeah. You can do a lot with this. This is
I would love if he had minions and some cats.
some cats.
Yeah. I think like, how do you top like a creepy little kid? You get some creepy little cats. Animatronic. So I really just wanted to say that so I could push my sweater again.
Yeah. And now we have to wait for it to end.
Yep. Holding for cat sweater.
On that note, any last thoughts?
It's going to be an offensive hoot.
All right. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, like, give us a comment.
Please.
Check out our Patreon page. We have a few episodes up, working on some more.
Yeah, if we had some patrons who wanted to request an episode, we would definitely record that.
Let's go ahead and check that out.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Gutted.